Chancellor of the University of Singapore, for his opening remarks. Dr. Chan, please.
Dr. Jalil Puducherry, Senior Minister of State, Ministry of Communications and Information, and Ministry of Health. Rotary International Director, Mr. Chew Lim Bok, District Governor, Dr. John Chan, District Governor-elect, Dr. Jack Lipke, past District Governors, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, fellow Rotarians, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls. Good evening and welcome to the World Understanding and Peace Day. It is also Rotary's 119th birthday. What I wanted to show you just now was actually a beer commercial. But since there's a tech break now, I'll just briefly give you the gist of that video, what that video is all about. It's about an aircraft carrier cruising along the coast of a friendly nation, and then a blip came out on the radar. And so the commander of that aircraft carrier signaled radio to the other party and said, "I'm an aircraft carrier, please get out of the way." And the other side says, "No, I'm not getting out of the way, you get out of the way." And so the aircraft carrier commander said, "If you don't get out of the way, I'm going to crush you." And the reply came, "You can do whatever you want, I can't move because I'm a lighthouse." So the moral of the story is really about understanding. And if the moment the aircraft carrier understands that blip on the radar is blocking its way is actually a lighthouse, guess who will move, right? The aircraft carrier will move. So the perspective changes immediately if you understand where the other party is coming from. Now in Rotary, we have an unwritten rule that we do not discuss politics and religion. And this rule has made this writing this opening address rather difficult, because how do you talk about world peace and understanding without talking about politics and religion? So instead of politics and religion, I decided to talk about something else that I'm sure you all are more interested in: physics and biology. Alright, over the course of the last, bear with me, those of you who are not science artists, this will be entertaining. Now, over the course of the last 100 years or so, there are two main pillars of physics. On the one side, you have Einstein's theory of general relativity, and on the other side, you have quantum mechanics. Now, Einstein's, do I have my slides? Okay, so there's Einstein's general theory of relativity, and relativity describes the large things in life, the galaxies, the stars, the universe. And on the other side, you have quantum mechanics, which explains the small things in life, the atoms, the electrons, the subatomic particles. And this accounts for a lot of the technology that we see around us. And this has undergone the test of time over many years. But these are scientific constructs that scientists create to explain certain observations of nature, and by extension help us predict how certain things will behave, how matter will behave under specific circumstances. And one may argue that political ideologies and maybe even some spiritual beliefs are constructs in the same way. Now, applied in their respective domains, these two pillars of physics have stood the test of time, but they are incompatible with each other. When you try to apply relativity to atoms and electrons, the model breaks down. And similarly, if you try to apply quantum mechanics to large distances like galaxies and stars, it doesn't make sense. So there's this chasm between the relativity physicists on one side and the quantum physicists on the other side. And one side look at the other and say, if what I know is true, how can you be true as well? The science, fortunately, is indifferent to your beliefs. Now everyone in this room has a smartphone. Now your smartphone has a GPS chip that helps you get around. And maybe many of you go to this ballroom tonight or this hotel tonight using the GPS and your phone. Now that GPS depends on satellites transmitting data from 20,000 kilometers away from the Earth's surface to your phone. At that kind of distance, you need engineers rely on Einstein's general theory of relativity to make sure that you get to the right place. But on your phone on Earth, your phone depends on the principles of quantum mechanics. But regardless of whether you are a quantum physicist or a relativity physicist or just the average Joe, the science will still bring you to your destination. So we should be more like scientists, and despite the irreconcilable differences between the theories of relativity and quantum mechanics, scientists work on finding a unifying theory of everything. And this has come in the last couple of decades in the form of string theory. It's far from done, but this spirit of finding common ground and unification is something that's very useful for promoting peace. Now, peace, however, is fragile, and it obeys the second law of thermodynamics. So some of you may be whipping up your phone to look at what is the second law of thermodynamics. I'll put it to you in simpler terms. If you have a teenage son, you can put it to the test by going home tonight, pack your son's room neatly, and you check on it again 24 hours later. Left to his own devices, entropy, the state of disorder, increases over time. So you'll be a mess again. So peace, like a tiny teenage boy's room, is not a natural state of affairs and must not be taken for granted. It requires a lot of energy to maintain. And a peaceful state is like ice. It needs to be kept in refrigeration. A lot of energy is there. So that the random movement of molecules is minimal, and without the cooling effect, these molecules get agitated, they move further apart, and they change state into a liquid state, and eventually it vaporizes into a gaseous state. Now, such volatile situations happen a lot in the animal kingdom. Different species, from insects to mammals, fight and kill one another over territory, food, and mates. Our nearest living species, the chimpanzee, which has 98.7% of our DNA, is naturally violent, and is the only species other than humans to carry out coordinated attacks on each other. So this warlike behavior challenges the notion that warfare is a human invention, and it strengthens the belief that we are genetically programmed for war. However, there is hope. The bonobos is another primate species that share the same amount of DNA with humans. They are peace-loving species, and instead of making war, they spend most of the time making love. I actually have a more representative photo, but Lisa told me that she's bringing her 6-year-old, so I changed the photo. So instead of making war, they make love. And biologists have found that the aggression is rooted in a part of the brain called the amygdala. It helps us perceive and respond to danger, which in turn will lead us to aggressive behavior. And it was found that there's a greater degree of neural connection between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex in the bonobos than the chimpanzees. So this prefrontal cortex serves to inhibit spontaneous eruption of aggression. But fortunately for humans, our neural connection between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala is even greater than that of the bonobos, allowing us to inhibit our aggressive instincts even better. Hence, it is not all predetermined. War or peace is up to us. President John F. Kennedy, in a speech given in the aftermath of the Cuban Missile Crisis, said, and I quote, "The genuine peace must be the product of many nations, some of many acts. It must be dynamic, not static, changing to meet the challenges of each new generation. For peace is a process, a way of solving problems. The Rotarians, as people of action, are well placed to play a crucial role in this process. To be the prefrontal cortex that cools down the emotions of the amygdala, to be the superstring that unites relativity, the quantum mechanics, and to be the lighthouse that safely guides ships away from treacherous rocks." At this point, I want to recount that 40 years ago, I witnessed for the first time an inter-religious blessing during the passing out parade of my officer cadet course. Our MC, President Amir, there was with me. He was in Foxtrot Company, I was in Delta Company. There was a powerful symbol of unity within the country. And tonight we are fortunate to have with us representatives of the 9 major religions from the Inter-Religious Organization of Singapore to give blessings to all concerned. Representing Hinduism, Swami Samachittananda. Representing Zoroastrianism, Bhagavan Vasudev. Representing Buddhism, Venerable Yu Fang. Representing Taoism, Master Adrian Lau. Representing Jainism is the Jitu Shah. Representing Christianity, Sister Teresa Xiao. Representing Islam, Mr. Amir Ali at Delhi. Representing Sikhism, Mr. Ranjit Singh. And last but not least, representing Baha'ism, Mr. Ken Ilambo. I shall now invite Sister Teresa to say a few words. Sister Teresa.